As a mother, I'd never believe that my son would be accused of murder, especially when it came to the murder of his best friend. It didn't make any sense to me. I raised Ethan, and I knew that deep down he was a good kid. Was I really capable of raising a murderer? It happened after school, in the Blackwood Forest. I was a high school teacher myself, and I taught English. I had many interactions with kids that were my son's age. He was like them. He was normal and kind. You needed to be a different kind of person to slash someone's neck over and over and over again while they begged for mercy. You needed to have hate and rage in your heart. You needed to have a soul that was lost. Those were the things I told myself anyway. I was determined to think anything to convince myself that my son was not capable of committing a brutal, gruesome murder. I didn't care what anyone had to say. Ethan was not a killer. All I could think of when I heard that Ethan was accused of Henry's murder was that we all lie to save ourselves. Someone out there was lying, covering their own part in Henry's murder. The sooner I accepted that, the sooner I could find the truth behind his tragic death. Before. I imagined my life before the nightmare that consumed our lives. On a regular morning, I would cook breakfast for Ethan and his younger brother Santiago. We called him Santi. 2 eggs with cheese, no onions, and 2 strips of bacon with 2 pancakes drizzled with maple syrup. That was their favorite. One time I made the eggs with onions, and it turned into World War III in my house. Skyview was a decent enough town. The worst things were the occasional violent drug busts and teenagers blasting profanity-laced music in public. Some of Ethan's teammates on the basketball team loved that type of music, especially Henry. We made ourselves at home in a modest 2-story house with a smallish backyard. It had 3 rooms and 2 bathrooms. I couldn't ask for more, especially on a teacher's salary. Santi was patiently seated at the dining table, while Ethan was still dragging himself out of bed. That was usually how that went. I had silky brown hair that hung around my shoulders, olive skin and warm brown eyes. I usually wore gray pantsuits with black flats and a silver necklace. I like to keep it simple. Santi took after me with his brown, curly mop top of hair and coffee-colored skin. He had bright brown eyes which reflected his curiosity and love of studying. He was thin and short, and as a result didn't play any sports. Ethan, on the other hand, was lanky, athletic, and always had a skin fade with his pitch-black straight hair. He soared through the air like Michael Jordan when he played. Those were his words, not mine. He had dark, baggy eyes and a charming gap-toothed smile. He used that smile to win over Layla Forrester's heart. "How's the breakfast, sweetheart?" I asked. "It's super delicious. You make the best breakfast ever, Mom," Santi said with a mouthful. I smiled to myself. I was happy he wasn't going through his coming-of-age stage yet. I didn't love that part of raising kids. The part where they hate you and they hate the world even more. Ethan was smack in the middle of his, but he was better than most. "You make the best breakfast ever, Mommy," Ethan mocked as he strode in and bopped Santi on the head. "Hey, stop it!" "Don't mock your brother. He's telling the truth," I said. Yeah. Can I have your pancake?" Ethan asked Santi as he sat down. "I want it." "I want it more. I'm your big brother, so you have to listen to me." "Okay, fine. I'll wait for Mom to make more," Santi replied. "Sweet.